Welcome dear students. I am Shruti Agnik and my topic for today is datagrams. Okay, so today we are going to see what are datagrams, and we are going to have a small practical session on how a UDP or datagram transfer or datagram socket programming takes place. So let's begin. Now, what are datagrams? You already know that datagrams are a kind of packet switching network transfer of data. Okay, so in case of datagrams, there is an unreliable kind of connection. It is not as same as TCP. Whatever data you are transferring is first converted from string format to bytes format, from byte format to packet formats, and whatever data you have is fragmented into small different packets, and these packets are transferred to the network on the other side. Okay, so this packet kind of data transfer is said to be a datagram. It is far apart from what you have done in TCP. It is an unreliable connection because you don't have a three-way handshake mechanism. You also don't have any method of knowing whether the receiver has received the message or not. Okay, so it is unreliable and it uses a user datagram protocol UDP. Okay, so it is a connection-less kind of data. It is connection-less, so you don't have any wired format. Okay, it goes through the air in wireless format. So let us move on to what UDP is going to show, or how you are going to start building your programs in UDP. Now, before you start development, you should know that you are going to two classes will be handy to you. First is your datagram packet class and datagram socket class. So let's move on to programming. Welcome dear learners to the practical session of UDP socket programming. You already know UDP is a unreliable kind of connection, and we are today going to program a sender and a receiver where they are trying to exchange messages. Now you already know that UDP is a kind of has a kind of packet transfer of data. Okay, so here you are not going to pass your data in form of strings, but you are going to have your data divided into different segments, and these segments are passed in form of packets. Now packets deal with byte kind of data, so you are going to have a lot of conversion from string to bytes. Okay, so before we begin with programming, let us have a look at some of the classes that you are going to use. First is the INET address class, which you are already familiar with. The next is the datagram socket class. Now this class is used for socket creation, be it the sender or the receiver. Okay, in TCP you had a restriction that socket class was used for client and server socket to create sockets on server side. But here, be it client or be it server, be it sender or be it receiver, the class that you are going to use for creating a socket is a datagram socket class. And another class which you will be using is a datagram packet class. Okay, so this class is going to help you to form packets and send bytes to and fro. So let's begin the code. Okay, so this is my UDP sender and this is my UDP receiver. So first step we will do is we will create sockets on both the sides. So let's start with the sender first. If you want to create sockets, you need to import java.net.star package or java.net.datagram socket class. Okay, so I have done that and I have written the main method. I will create a datagram socket here, new datagram socket, and I will bind the service of the client at port number 4 times 3. The same steps I will take on the receiver side. I will import java.net.star and again the main method, which will be throwing exception Okay, and again we will create a datagram socket here. Okay, and we are going to bind it to 1. Okay, so this is the basic difference here. Okay, the difference is the sender is binding its services to this port number and receiver is binding its services to this port number. So if any sender wants to be contacted, it can be contacted on this port number, and if this receiver is to be contacted, it has to be contacted on this port number. Okay, now let us start from the sender side. Okay, now sending and receiving here will be done in form of bytes. So here we will initiate the byte arrays. One is a receive data array, okay, and be it 1024, and we will write the sending array, okay, that is also 1024, right? Okay, now I will initiate the message transfer. So I will write the message, hi, hello. Okay, this is my message. Okay, and now you know that strings cannot be written, so we have to convert string to bytes. So let's convert message dot get bytes method. Okay, so your string will be converted to bytes and you will write it in the send data, right? So now after writing your data into the send data array, byte array, you will put it into a packet. So let us use the Datagram packet class. This class is used to create packets. So dp is equal to new Datagram packet, and we will be using this constructor with 4 arguments. The sender always uses this. Okay, you can see it uses for sending packets. Now first is the byte array that you want to send. So you want to send SD. Okay, next is the length. So you want to you will pass the length of your SD array. Next is the INET address, that is the IP address where you want to send your data, and next is the port number where you want to specify or send your data. So these 4 things, you note down this one. The return type of the IP address is INET address. So you cannot give anything in string, you have to give an INET address type of data here. Okay, so first we will try to solve this. Okay, so before sending this packet, let us first create an INET address kind of ADDR variable where INET address dot get by name, and there you can specify the IP address of the receiver. IP address of receiver, yes, so that is localhost. Why localhost? Because you are sending your data here and this server is, or this server or this receiver is on this computer itself. That is why IP address, localhost, right? Okay, now we will start filling the arguments here. First argument is the array that you want to send. Okay, that is SD. Next is SD dot length. Next is the IP address where you want to send your data, which is this. And next is your port number, that is the port number of receiver, 3331. So you have created a packet. Now you will send the packet. Now this packet that you are sending will be sent on socket. So this ds dot send Datagram sockets method you have send, and you will send your packet. Okay, right? So you have sent your packet. Now we will handle this side. Before we handle this side, again we need to copy these 2 statements here. Okay, why am I copying them? Because this part is going to receive the packets. So again it has to deal with packets, it has to deal with bytes, it has to deal with conversions. Okay, so in order to store bytes, we have taken this. So we will create a datagram packet here. dp is equal to new datagram packet. Now we'll use the first constructor here because it is used for receiving the packets. Okay, it has the byte array where you want to store your data and integer length. Okay, so here you are going to write your data will be stored in receiving data and rd dot length. Okay, so this thing will be here. Now you actually want to receive your data. Okay, so you were using the send method here. Similarly, now on this ds, that is on this datagram socket, you will receive your packet. So ds dot receive, and you are going to receive the packet. Okay, after receiving the packet, whatever data you will get, that data will be in form of bytes. So now you need to convert it to string. So whatever data you have is in bytes, plus you have length appended, plus you have so many lots of things, right? So this dp you will bifurcate and get only the data. Okay, you don't want the length, you don't want other parameters which are there in the packet, you only want the data or the message that was sent. Okay, so now this method has a return type of bytes. So you have to now convert it to string. So string message is equal to new string. I have taken the string constructor and I am passing whatever data that I am getting in bytes inside it. Okay, now after receiving, after that I am getting the message, I can directly print a message. Sender sent plus message. Okay, so this is what happens. Now what are you going to run first, the sender or the receiver? The answer is you will run this receiver first, because if the receiver, the one who is receiving, is not ready, the sender sending doesn't matter. Okay, so first your receiver has to be ready in this case, only then the sender sending the data will be taken or caught by the receiver. So we will run the receiver first and then we will run the client or the sender. Okay, so let's start. This is my receiver. Okay, so the receiver is ready. It is ready to receive anything or everything, and now we are running the sender. Okay, so let us move back to the receiver and see. It is sending the hi hello message, right? Okay, so this is how one-way communication is taking place. Now let us see how receiver can send the data back to the client. So here you need to prepare your message again. So let's write string message1 is equal to I received message. Okay, and let's convert it to bytes. Okay, sd is equal to msg1 dot get bytes. Now we need inet address class. ADDR1 is equal to inet address dot get by name, and you will give localhost. Okay, and now you will create a datagram packet. dp is equal to new datagram packet, in which you are now the sender. So you need to send 4 arguments, then ADDR1 and the port number of the receiver now, which is 4 times 3. Okay, so this is the IP address where you want to send your data. ds dot send dp. dp you cannot use again, I'm very sorry, it's already taken. dp1, and now you're sending your message. Now you will do provisions for receiving here. Okay, so datagram packet dp1 is equal to new datagram packet and this is a receiver, so it will have two arguments, receiving data and receiving data dot length. Okay, now it will actually receive the packet dp1. That's what I've taken, yes. And after receiving whatever data it will get, it will bifurcate data along with contents. From the contents, get data, okay, and convert it to string. Message2 is equal to new string, and we can directly print it out. Message from receiver is and plus msg2. Okay, so now let's start. Okay, let's run the receiver first. The same applies here, because first the one who is sending is, when this program will run, the first sender is this, therefore first receiver is this, therefore first you need to run this. Okay, the reverse will not have any problems happening, but the first that is going to receive should be run first. So let's run this first, and let's run this next. Okay, so you can see this. Hi, hello is sent here, and I received messages received here. Okay, that's all for UDP programming.